to discuss about the INotification property. So it's very important. Today we are going to discuss WPF INotification property change. So this is we are going to discuss. It is a compulsory interview question, my dear friends. You are a fresher or 2 years, 3 years, 10 years for WPF. If you want to become a WPF developer, this is very important question. WPF INotification property. So let's first try to understand what exactly this WPF INotification property. Then we are going to see the practically demo in the code. So now let's open the paint. So let me start understand the why. Let's start understand first the what exactly this INotification property. So my dear friends, let's assume you have one WPF page. So let me draw one WPF page. So let's assume that this is your WPF page and you have some controls. So let's draw some controls. For example, this is not. So these all the some controls are there. You are going to display. Okay. So so many controls are there, right? So these are the controls are there, and what you are doing is you are binding this control with some class properties. You have a class and you are binding this class properties to these controls. So my dear friends, the thing is, so whenever this property is going to be changed, the immediately I want to be updated to this control. So how to do this one? So let me draw this again. This is the class. So let me draw first and then I will explain you. So this is the, let me write it down. Class. Yes, this is the WPF page and this is the class. This class properties are your binding to the controls. Yes, that's fine. So now the thing is, so the thing is what exactly this INotification is. So whenever you are binding this class properties to this WPF control, so whenever you are going to change the property value, so we are INotification property is going to send a notification to the UI control that my property gets changed. So please update yourself. Please update yourself. It is going to send notification to the WPF UI controls. So that is called so this one is called WPF INotification change property. So why we need to change this thing? So why we need to be update? Why we need to be changed? So let's understand the scenario. So first let me talk with one requirement. Then so with the help of this INotification property, how to achieve that requirement we are going to see. So now try to understand what exactly this INotification property will do. First, let's try to understand. INotification property is nothing but, for example, you have a WPF page and you have a WPF property controls. Now you have a class property. You are binding this class properties to these controls, right? So whenever you are changing some property, so we are sending notification that to UI, my class property gets changed. Please update yourself. So that notification is going to be changed. So for example, you have a, let's suppose you have a first name, you have a some first name and you have a last name, last name and full name. For example, you have a one class property. Let's suppose that you have a class name is employee class is there. Okay. So my requirement is this: whenever I type the first name and last name, automatically the full name is going to be filled in the full name box. So now my requirement is, I enter the first name, I enter the last name, immediately my properties are getting changed. So then I need to send the notification, I change the value. So you need to, UI need to be update automatically. So how we did, with the help of this iNotification property. So my dear friends, in WPF, iNotification properties plays very important role. So that we are going to see the practically how we can implement iNotification property change in WPF. So now let's move to the our Visual Studio. Let's try to understand this iNotification property practically. So now this is my WPF application. Let's try to understand. I have a class. My class name is person. I have a class. My class name is person. In person, I have a properties like first name, last name, and full name. Three properties are there. So now let's. This is my XAML page. So now this is XAML page. You can see here. I have first name, last name, and full name. So now let me save this thing and let me, I have binding. So you can see here, I have binded this first name, last name, class name. You can see here, this person is there, right? This person class I have binded to this control. So how to bind we have done already, right? I have already explained you about the how to bind this thing, all this thing. So need no. So now you no need to be explained about this. You can see here, I am creating the object of this person class. This person class I am creating the object. So model, you can see model is nothing but this class name, the person dot this class name I'm giving. So I already explained you how to bind the class to this controls, right? So they, I hope you no need to be explained again this how to bind all these things. So now you can see here I'm binding this all the static values here, data context to grid. This is the object of the class and I'm binding the properties to this control. So now you can let me run the application. Now let's see. So now you can see here in this class, I'm first of all I'm giving the values, first name, last name automatically. Now you can see here. So let me rebuild and run the application. So now you can see here, I got automatically my first name, last name, full name. How I am binding the full name? Full name is nothing but first name plus last name. You can see here. Full name is nothing but first name plus last name. So now my requirement is, now let please try to understand my requirement. So my requirement is whenever I change the first name, so let me stop this thing, let me run, rebuild application. One second. Yes, let me rebuild. Yes. So now let me rebuild again. Yes, let me run the application. Yes, now you can see here. So the idea is, see, the I'm change the my first name is, I'm changing my first name and last name. So my requirement is whenever I change the first name and last name, immediately this full name value need to be affected immediately. So how to achieve that one? So you can see here I'm changing the value of first name and last name. I'm changing the class properties. I'm changing the class properties. You can see here I'm changing the name, but you can see here the full name is not affected. Only at the time of application is at the time of application is, whenever this page is I mean to say that whenever this page is called, it is pulled the full name, and after that whenever I changing the values, it is not affecting this property full name. So then how to achieve this thing? So my requirement is whenever I change the first name or last name, this full name need to be automatically need to be changed. So then how to achieve that one? So we can achieve that one with the help of this iNotification property. So that is the first thing. So now let's me implement first, then let me implement first and let me do the practical, and then I'm going to explain you practically. So now let me stop this application. Let me go to the change. Let me achieve the things, then I'm going to explain you. I will explain you code line by line. Don't worry about that. Let me rebuild this application. Now let me run the application. Now you can see here my first name is there, last name is there. Before code change, you have seen that whenever I change this first name or last name, it is not affecting the full name. So now let's try to do this. You can see here I am changing the first name, it is automatically get affected. You can see here the currently my first name is nothing, last name is nothing. Whenever I change, so I'm changing. You can see here whenever I change the first name or last name, you can automatically the full name gets affected. So how it is happening, how internally it is happening, that is important. So my dear friends, that we need to understand. So I'm going to explain you, don't worry about that. So now you can see, now you got clear idea about the INotification. So now let me move to this. So my dear friends, the idea is this is a class property, first name, full name. So you can see, so whenever I change this first name, so this INotification, what INotification property it will do, it is going to inform, to UI that I have changed myself, this property, the class, I changed myself, please update yourself. It is send the notification to UI. It is going to send the notification. Let me draw this thing. So whenever the first name is get changed, whenever the first name is going to be changed, it is going to send the notification. It is going to send the notification that I change myself, please change yourself. So it is going to change the note, I change myself, please change yourself. Then UI gets updated, UI gets refreshed, I can say UI get refreshed. So then automatically the whatever that the new value is there, it is going to bind to the UI control. So that is the advantage of INotification. So that is the beauty of INotification. My dear friends, in WPF application there is lot of projects are going to be implemented, so that all the project are going to be used the INotification property. INotification plays very important role, please try to understand. So now hope you understand the INotification thing. Let me again tell you this thing. So INotification is nothing but whenever you change the property, or whenever you change the class property, whenever the class property, for example, let I am writing here, I'm changing the first, this text box is assigned to some class property, right? So this class, this text box is going to be assigned to this class property, first name. So whenever I change the value, the this, let me go to the XAML. So whenever I change the text box value, it is going to change this class property. This first name is the right, it is going to be changed. Then this class is going to be, this class or property is going to send the notification to UI that I changed myself, please update. So it is going to update automatically. So this is called INotification property. So now hope you functionally you understand what exactly this INotification. Now try to understand how to implement the INotification property in your application. That is very important. What are the things are you needed to implement the INotification property? So now let's go to the application. So this is the binding, you know. So how to bind these things, you know, and the update so trigger, the all these things, you know. So now the thing is, let's go to the code. This is the class property. This is the class property, right? This is the class and properties are bind to the control. So what are the changes you needed for INotification property change? So you need this interface, INotification property change. This interfaces you need to be inherit to this class. Then what are the changes? Then you need to be have this method. Then you need to have this method, private this on property raised, on property raised, this method you needed. and this is the event you needed on property change. So hope you got understood this thing. So this is the code you needed. First is property change event handler, and then you need to have a on property raised. Now you can see here. Let me, yes. So hope you got clear, right? This is the first is you need to write one event, and then you need to have this method on property rise change, on property change. So now you can see here, and every property unit, whenever the set value is there, right, then you need to call this method. This method is there, right? This void method. Then you need to call this method. So now let me put the breakpoint here. Let's see what is going to be happen. Here is the two names are there. No need. Only one name is. Achha, okay. Full name is there, right? Okay. Let me put the breakpoint. Let's understand. Now you can see here. Let me change this value. See, I change the value. It is going to fire here. You can see here. It is going to fire here. Let me go to the in detail. So you can see here. It is going to call. So it is this property gets changed. What it will do is it is going to fire. It is going to inform the UI that I am myself updated. Please update yourself. So that is the reason we need to have this INotification property change. So that's it, my dear friends. Hope you understand this INotification property. INotification property plays very important. So summarize all these things. So, and one more point, this is the very important. The namespace for the INotification is system dot component model. Let me stop this thing and let me comment out. If I comment out this INotification property will not work. You can see here. So INotification property is going to be work only for this library. You need to be import this thing system dot component model. So that's very important. They are going to ask you what is the namespace is needed for INotification property. So you need to tell system dot component model. So you need to inherit the first steps. So first, let me summarize all these things. So now first is what we discuss about INotification property. What is INotification property? Whenever you are changing the class property, so INotification, what it is going to do, it is going to inform to UI that I have updated myself, please update yourself. So immediately UI get updated. So whatever that the property value is there, the UI, it is going to update automatically. So this is called INotification property change. So that's first point. Second point, how to implement the INotification property is you need to have this I notify property change interface. Then you need to have these two methods. This event you need to have a property change event handler, and then you need to have this method private void on property raised. And every property you need to inform these things. So full name, all these things you can see here, the full name, whatever the on property rise is there, right? So that you need to have. You can see here for last name also, for first name also. So that's it about, my dear friends. So hope you understand this INotification property. Please practice this thing. This is very important and compulsory interview question they are going to ask you. And one more point. So why I started this INotification property means, so next session we have a very important one more point. You are going to see here, to achieve this functionality, did I written any code? I have written the zero code. You can see here, I have not written any single code. For example, let me delete all, let me delete this thing, and let me comment out even this thing also. Text to change. One second. You can see here, let me rebuild. Now let me run the application. Now you can see here, still it is going to be work. Okay, I have the breakpoint, right? So let me disable all breakpoint. Okay, let me comment here. So now let me run this application. Now you can see here, it is working fine. So my dear friends, you can see here, in my .cs file, you can see here, I don't have any code. Are you seeing any code in .cs file? There is no code is there. Without writing any single code, still I am able to change this property change values. See, you can see here, without any single code change in .cs file, you can see here, I can achieve this functionality. So that is the beauty of iNotification. So now, so, and one more point, let me understand this also. So this is the class. This is the class property. We are inherited this class in XAML. So that's it, my dear friends. So hope you understand the iNotification. You got good idea. So very simple thing. Let me summarize all this thing. iNotification, it is very important. iNotification, interviewer going to ask you what is iNotification. You need to explain about iNotification. So whenever the property is going to be changed, it is going to be send the notification to AI. Please update yourself. I have updated myself. That it is going to be sent. So you can easily bind the all the class properties to this control. So how to achieve this iNotification things? So you need to have a one interface iNotification change property, and you have one event. You can see here this event and one method, and every property you need to call this property this method. So that's it. The more that's it about the notification. So if you have any and I kindly request to you, please practice yourself. Without practice, you are not going to be get I understand this idea. Interviewer going to ask you. So I kindly request to you, please practice. Practice is very important. More you practice, you will get more idea. So if you have any doubts about this today's session, please let me know. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for your. Thank you very much.